Hello, and welcome to the end of the year 2021 update. Hope everybody had a good or Merry Christmas and a great holiday season and a great 2021. I was definitely blessed in 2021. So to recap, I'm a 41-year-old who lives in Phoenix, Arizona, or actually Chandler Gilbert area of Arizona, and am using this to document my progress on financial independence and potentially retiring. At this point, I would probably assume I'm relatively close to financial independence. I'm not necessarily ready to finish work. I have projects that I would like to complete before I call it quits. But I do this about twice a year to document my progress. So for 2021, I spent a most of the summer. Was able to get out of the Phoenix heat and spend it in North Carolina with friends and family. Uh, then at the second half of the year, I was able to cross out one of the things from my bucket list, which is to go see the U.S. play Mexico, and we were able to win 2-1. So that was a pretty cool experience. Then later in November, uh, Thailand opened its borders and was able to visit or meet up with a friend who was actually working. He works for Intel and was working at the assembly and test in Vietnam. So I met with him and we met up in Krabi, Thailand, which is relatively close. I hear a lot of people talk about Phuket. It's further inland. Phuket is more of a peninsula. Krabi is inland, and this is one of the famous rocks that people want to go see. Uh, then right before Christmas, we went to Cabo, stayed near the marina, had a really good time. So now let's jump into the financial progress. I've logged into the Mint website where I keep track of my real estate investments and my stock market investments. And what I see is I currently, for stock market investments, I have a little over 1.8 million. And let me just touch on a couple of things that went well this year and a couple of investments that were stagnant or performed poorly. The A couple of investments that did well or outperformed were a lot of the items from the semiconductor sector. I am relatively heavily weighted in the semiconductor sector, and that's one of the things that I need to do for 2022 is actually start diversifying more. But I've been really bullish on the semiconductor equipment manufacturers. That's things such as Lam Research and Applied Materials. I think both of those have been, I think Applied Materials was over 50% return and Lam Research was relatively close. I also have Nvidia, I have Marvell. Um, Now, I would mention this coming into this year, one thing about semiconductors, all semiconductors are not created equal. You have the top end, Nvidia, AMD, maybe even throw Intel into that. And then you have the lower tier, and these are the very commoditized items. Now, those are working well, or most all semiconductors are working well right now, but the bottom end, the FPGAs, just the little microcontrollers, just the kind of simple crap that nobody really wants to develop, but car companies need or appliances need, those are cyclical. And that's why I think investing in an SMH or an SOXL just really does not make sense because once cyclicality hits with that, you're going to have complete divergence of the semiconductor industry. So just my 2 cents. A couple of ones that underperformed. Intel definitely underperformed this year. I think it was only up maybe 6 or 7%. And one that I was kind of shocked that it underperformed is Taiwan Semi. If you don't know Taiwan Semi, it's basically about the most important company in the world that nobody's heard of. Taiwan Semi is diversifying outside of Taiwan, and they're having a lot of capital expenditures over the next couple of years, but that means increased pricing power and just increased manufacturing. So thus, when you're increasing manufacturing, what do you need to buy? Semiconductor equipment. So thus, applied materials and Lam Research. Now, my two rental properties, right at about 950,000. So currently, my investment, let's say portfolio, is 2,770,000. So Didn't hit 3 million, but hopefully that would be a goal for 2022. Okay, so here are my final totals for 2021 for my stock market investments. Started off with 1.378 million, ended up in December with just over 1.8 million. That's a total change of 436,556. I'm guessing I contributed about 50,000. I'm not going to try and get exact with that. That's just a ballpark guess. And so if that is the case, then my dividends and capital appreciation would be about 381,556. Now, I was actually going to look up the dividends that I received for the entire year, but it almost becomes irrelevant because there's capital gains distributions that are kind of put in with dividends. So I decided not even to break that out. Next, here are my rentals. They slowed down, or actually one of them slowed down towards the second half of the year in terms of appreciation. The other one just absolutely lost its mind. And this, again, is according to Zillow. So I have the first rental went up in value about 78,000, and I haven't after net income was about 23,000. I was able to raise the rent the second half of the year, or actually I raised them both second half of the year. Now the second one, it went, I can't even explain it. It went up 122,000 in appreciation, and the rental income after expenses was around 20,000. So that it's a gain of about 142,700. So a 40% gain in that one. And I know these are paper gains except for the rental income because I have not sold these. Now, I also did hear, this is listening on a podcast, that the Chandler Gilbert area had the highest increase in housing percentage in the United States last year. So for my end of the year totals, looking at a stock market increase of 436, property one increase of a little over 101,000, property two increase of over 142 with a total of 680,356. So I'm definitely blessed this year and was very lucky that a lot of things kind of went my way, both in terms of real estate and also in terms of the stock market. I don't think I shouldn't say I don't think, I'm almost positive next year's not going to, or this 2022 is not going to be nearly as lucrative as 2021 was in terms of investments. Now, in 2022, I actually am going to be receiving a payout. We sold a company. I was one of 4 people who sold a company, and I am fulfilled my obligation for transitioning that technology over. We sold in 2017, so 2022 is when that transition for me would be complete, and I will receive a payout. I might do a video on that, but I'm also considering just keeping that outside of what these current investments are. The payout is about 2.5 million, but I'm not going to be receiving all that because I have lawyer fees, of course, and taxes, and other items that have gotten associated with that money. But it looks like I'm probably going to get, or I'm estimated to probably get about 1.75 to 1.8 million that I'm going to be able to pocket. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great 2022, and thanks for watching.